The following is a sponsored program paid for by Yaba TV.
Welcome to our beautiful show, the Yaba TV show. I am your host, Sia. Today our topic is Experiencing Africa, Part 2. We are going to take you to the motherland, right from the comfort of your living room. We're going to bring you Africa. This show connects with you, Africans and African Americans, based on first-hand knowledge. This is a show also you can learn so much about your experience going to Africa, or someone's experience coming from Africa, or learning from whatever source of information you get going to Africa. But on this show, it's real. We bring you Africa based on first-hand knowledge. Today, my guest is Otiana Jeffrey Okach, the president and CEO of Pulse Inc. in Long Beach, California, and Bellflower. They have offices all over the place, and when we get to talk to Otiana Okach today, you get to find out more about what he does and more about what he represents as an African descent. We have so much to share with you today on this show, so tell everybody you know about our beautiful show, the Yaba TV show. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to our beautiful show, the Yaba TV show. I am your host, Sia. Today, our topic is Connecting with Africa, Part 2. You are going to be in for a very special treat because my guest on the show is Kenyan American, but I tell you one thing, he's a child of the continent of Africa, a child of the diaspora of Africa. He is one person that he is very interested in restoring the traditional greatness for Africans. Africans here and Africans abroad. It's a big step, but we're taking baby steps one day at a time. So I'd like to introduce Otiana Okach at this moment. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
Tell our audience a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a child of America, as you said, and the African continent. My sixth great-grandfather, John Montgomery, fought in the Revolutionary War in the Vermont militia, so on my mother's side. On my father's side, he came here in the African airlift in 1960. So my mother and my father created me, and they decided to befuddle the American tongue, and they gave me a full Kenyan name. My dad coming from Kenya, which is in East Africa, bordered by the Indian Ocean on the east and the beautiful Lake Victoria on the west. My father's people come from the west. We're fishermen. And so my name, Otiana Okach, is a very traditional Luo name, which is my father's people.
And it's a popular name in Kenya.
It's a popular name in Kenya. I'll tell you, my first time going home as an adult, I just thought, you know, after all these years in America, everybody's going to just accept my name. And I got there and I would hear people saying, Otieno. I would turn around. He's talking to me. But they weren't talking to me. So I thought, this is good. It's a common name. And then when I started to tell people, though, my name's Otieno, they would just, because my dad's people are a beautiful, dark black skin, complexion in general. So I didn't fit that description. So when I would tell people I was Otieno, people would just say,
no, you can't be.
You can't be.
But one of the things that I look at, most of the people that visit Africa, especially the African descent, they look at only the safaris.
Yes.
The animals.
Yes.
The animals are beautiful.
Yes.
But what about the people?
It is the people that I go for. And I've never been on a safari, but I know they're popular. For me, I just want to get more African Americans to make the trip, because I think African people come here oftentimes with the misconception that African Americans are to be avoided. And African Americans oftentimes, we've been raised where we're afraid of going to Africa. So we'll think of 10 European cities, but we won't want to go to Africa. So I think that in bridging the gap, we need to have a sense of openness in our minds and go ahead and make that effort to venture out to the motherland.
It's a myth. Let me tell you, in my 20 years of hosting my own television show, I started on cable for a long time, and now I landed on Channel 9. Woo!
Yay!
So, so many people, I've encountered so many people that think, this is what they say, quote and unquote, Africans don't like us because they feel like we only depend on the government to get government welfare check. We are lazy. We are not part of royalty family. We don't have a place of belonging.
Yes.
That's what they say.
Yes.
And then the African Americans now say African Americans don't like us because they think we are from royalty families. We are too proud. We think we are all that, a bag of potato chips and all of that.
Yes.
You know, it's a miscommunication.
Absolutely.
On both ends.
Absolutely.
So what we need to do is have a dialogue, break bread,
Yes.
get to know each other's culture.
Yes.
And that's one of the reasons the Yaba TV show has been created, so we can have that platform to dialogue with each other. Yes. For example, you're an American-born native of America, but you're partially African.
Yes.
There shouldn't be any reason why you go to Africa you feel like there is a little unwantedness. Even though you know your family loves you.
Yes.
But the general public, are they accepting you, or are they calling you a European name?
I think the general public accepts me, and I've been home many, many times since that first trip as a 20-year-old. I think the longing is there for the connection, even though there are misconceptions on both sides, like you said. It's unnatural because, I mean, if you think about an analog, for Europeans, for white Europeans who come to America, they have no problem mixing in with white Americans.
Correct.
So you'll never find a Swedish American say, I just don't hang around with those white Americans. That's not a thing. So I think it's a natural gravitation we have for each other. And we just need to get beyond the cobwebs in our brains. I remember when my cousin came to stay with us, still around the age of 20, 21. He came from Kenya, and all of my African American friends were so excited to meet him. And they said, what's your name? And he said, Vinny. They said, no, it can't be Vinny. We've been waiting for somebody from the motherland, and you can't have our name.
Right.
Shortly after, I'm happy to say that he started to use his Kenyan name shortly after that because he realized what currency it had.
To piggyback on that, my English name is Elizabeth, but my African name is Sia Sia.
Sia Sia.
When I first started to host the show on cable, years ago I started on Continental Cablevision on the Crenshaw District.
Yes.
Most of my audience wrote to me and said, but where is your African name?
Yes.
Why are you hosting an African show, you calling yourself Elizabeth?
Elizabeth. Right.
Where is your African name?
Right.
So that's when I said, aha, I think I'm going to put Sia Sia name to work.
Yes.
And at that time, I decided to change everything.
Yeah.
I registered everything, and now I am Sia Sia on Yaba TV.
Yes.
But we need to take a quick break. We have a lot of dialogue on. When we come back, we are going to dive into Kenya, what that land, the beautiful land of Kenya, what it's all about. When we come back, we will share with you. Don't go away. You are back with our lovely show, the Yaba TV show. I am your host, Sia Sia. I know you told me about this story before, but it's funny. I'd like for you to tell us again so our audience can see what I mean by it's funny.
Sure,
What was the first food they gave you when you went to Kenya? They say, welcome to the motherland.
Welcome home, yes. Well, I went home and we sat at the table and I could tell I was the guest of honor and I was a young man, so I wasn't used to being treated like that, but everybody came and sat around and we washed our hands and
Right there.
right there at the table, which I wasn't used to because in the U.S. we go to the bathroom, but they came and served water right at the table, and I washed my hands, and then they brought the soup. And somebody stirred it to serve me first, and I immediately just went, ah! Because there was the chicken head and the feet. The feet were sticking up like this.
Everything was right there.
I've been to Colonel Sanders. I've eaten a lot of chicken, but I had never seen it prepared like that or served.
And they make it with love because everything about that chicken, it was hand-picked.
It was hand-picked,
and
especially
killed
for
and
me.
specially made just for you.
Just hours before the meal, he was running around, or she was running around. And I was told that the reason why they do that is because it's a sign of respect.
Right, and welcoming you home.
Yes.
Genuine welcome.
Yes.
Like Ghanaians would say, akwaba.
Akwaba.
Yes, welcome.
Yes.
Yes. So let's talk about your company, Pals Inc.
Yes.
That's your baby. You saw it grow from, I would say, from toddler to now a big boy.
Yes.
Let's talk about it.
Pals Inc. is my business. My wife and I run it. She's here with me today. And it is my pride and joy. We do a lot of fancy stuff, functional assessments and behavioral analyses and so forth. But at its core, it's caring for people.
Yes.
And, you know, for many of us, we will experience being cared for by somebody else who's not our family member at some point in our lifetimes. My business is centered on providing that care. So the focus is on people who are differently abled, a cognitive challenge, intellectual disability, but they oftentimes have other scars and challenges in their lives, emotional trauma, mental health issues. And so we're working with the whole person. And this business has grown over the years. And we have offices in Santa Barbara, Simi Valley, Santa Paula, El Monte, Downey, and Bellflower.
How many employees do you have?
Over 100. Over 100 full-time employees. So we've got a good operation for people who are looking for work, helping others. As I said, if they're focused on psychology and they want to learn the tools of behavioral analysis and interventions, our company is a place to come. But if they're also interested in just supporting people to live better lives, more integrated lives, I feel like our company is a great place for people to come and work. And we try to create a strong learning environment for our employees, and especially for the people that we support. It's a lot of fun.
Your slogan, behavioral modification begins with a smile.
Yes.
How did you come up with that? It's beautiful.
I appreciate that. It really comes from basic principles of behavior modification. Oftentimes when we think about behaviors we want to decrease, let's say I want to stop smoking, instead of focusing on the stopping smoking, I want to focus on the increasing of some other positive behavior. And so that is the premise behind our slogan, is that you start out with the first step, make it a positive one.
Okay.
So behavior modifications, if you're feeling down, your behavior modification at a minimum begins with a smile. And of course you go from there. There's much more to do. But that's the first step. And so that's what we came up with. And we try to apply that in the work that we do. The work that we do with the people we support, as well as the training we provide to staff and our interactions with the community. And so I think that goes a long way. Yeah.
So look at the camera and tell our audience how they can reach you.
If anyone would like to get in touch with me, you can get in touch with us on the web at www.palsworks.org, palsworks.org. Or you can call my office at 562-426-5444.
Repeat that number again, please.
562-426-5444.
I do want to thank you so much. You're my brother from the continent.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I thank you for taking the time to come on our show. You grace our stage to talk about your experience. And this is what we look for, Africans connecting with the motherland,
Yes.
African Americans connecting with grassroots Africans.
Yes.
That's what our show is about, bridging that cultural divide.
Yes.
So you perfectly fit well as one of Africa's best. I do thank you again
Thank
for your
you.
time on our show. And I wish you continuous success on your business.
I appreciate that very much. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. We need to take another quick break and bring you brilliant music videos. Music videos that will make you want to really dance out of your seat. We'll be back in a moment. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch our show today. We are on every Sunday at 4 p.m. right here on KCAR 9. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell everybody about our beautiful show. This show connects with African Americans based on first-hand knowledge, and this show brings you Africa to the comfort of your living room. Let's say if you're planning to go to Africa, let's say any part of Africa, you want to get to know what the people are like, the culture, the food, the atmosphere. That's what this show brings to you as you continue to watch our series. No show is the same. Every show is all different. So we do want to thank you again for taking the time to watch our show. We will see you next week at the same time on the Yaba TV show, your contemporary bridge to the motherland, Africa.
The proceeding was a sponsored program paid for by Yaba TV.